Hi, this is Bob Scully, and welcome to another edition of The World Show, our Summer Classics series, your favorites from the season past. This week, an episode from Entrepreneurs, the Dobson series, about someone who does not consider himself an entrepreneur. He'll tell us why in a moment. His name is Stephen Jarislowsky, but he certainly has been hugely successful. He manages $60 billion of other people's money, and he does it very carefully and very well. He's clearly in the Warren Buffett class, and he's written a wonderful book called The Investment Zoo, telling you how not to get fleeced when you invest your money. Stephen Jarislowsky, in this excellent book, which I want people to read, called The Investment Zoo, there's a moment that's very entrepreneurial. I know you don't like to be described as an entrepreneur, even though...
I'm not an entrepreneur.
But you are. You started this huge firm from scratch. But there's a classic, because you said that to the production people, I'm not an entrepreneur, I looked for some classic entrepreneurial moments, and I found one.
Good.
Yes, in particular. And it's where you're schlepping around with your new partner, Mr. Fraser, going around to people saying, and this is in your first decade, which was a tough decade, saying, please give us your money to manage. And they say, well, who are your clients? Well, so if you give us your money, you'll be our client, and we can use your name. That's exactly the chicken and egg situation an entrepreneur faces. So as you sit now on this pretty huge achievement, and you look back, are you stunned at having come this far?
No, I'm not really very surprised at it, because I don't think I'm an entrepreneur, so I've come back to that, because all I believe that our firm has been is a professional firm which had a specific knowledge, and like a lawyer or an accountant, sold that knowledge to people who needed it at a price which was fair and on the basis of strict ethics. I consider that a professional activity, and if people catch on to it and think that this type of a firm is a firm they have confidence in, well, that's fine, because that's really a professional activity.
But when it's this and it becomes this, you must be doing something right. And on this show, we've had a few people, more and more people come on, financial gurus, starting to say the market is now so populated with specialists and so intelligent and so efficient, buy index funds, and that's it. You can't beat the market anymore. But you beat the market consistently, and you tell people what to do with their money, compound, non-cyclical,
exactly.
And you think the market can be beat.
Well, I think the market can definitely be beaten, and it's also a question of what risk profile you want to take. You know, if you beat the market between 1925 and 1929, and then you lose all your money, did you really beat the market?
But you say, you know, you're always telling people, there's a little line in there, you say, preferably start at birth, but if not, as quickly as possible.
That's because of the compounding effect.
Yeah. That's one of your keys.
That's one of the keys.
To measure how quickly your money doubles.
That's right.
Well, tell me a bit about that.
Well, I can tell you something about it, because Jesus Christ came to see me in the year 2000. And he said that he wanted to consult me as a professional. And I said that I couldn't see that my knowledge would exceed that of his, because he was part of the Trinity. But he says it's precisely because of the Trinity. He said, when I was born, my father told me that I was going to double my $100, which he gave me equivalent in Palestine in shekels, every 5 years. And I said, well, has he doubled it every 5 years? He said, yes. So I said, what's your beef? And he said, well, you know, between 1995 and the year 2000, I doubled my money. And I made as much in those 5 years as in all the other 1995 put together.
So of course it works, but how do you get there?
So you have to start early, right?
Yes, but something will only double consistently if it's properly chosen. And you have criteria for a stock. What are they?
Well, I believe that if you look at, for instance, a doubling every 7 years, which I think is more rational, and you aim at a company